We've got even more breaking news for you. A big shakeup in the drugstore world. The second largest pharmacy chain in the country, Walgreens Boots Alliance, set to acquire the third largest chain, Rite Aid. Now, it could be a deal at $17 billion. It could be announced tomorrow. Shares of both drugstore companies soared on news of the deal, but Rite Aid stock was the big winner. Shares up a massive 40% today. So what does this deal mean for prices for you, for the consumer? You know, the drugstore industry is dominated by a small number of chains to begin with. More and more people are depending on them for everything from, cough medicine to even rotisserie chicken. You know what? Get this. Here in New York City, you can get a six-pack of beer at a drugstore on your way home with your sushi that you could buy there, too. Joining me now is Danielle DiMartino Booth, former Dallas Federal Reserve advisor and Lissio Report chief market strategist. And Steve is back with me. Danielle, what did you make of this merger news?
Well, I think it's a continuation of a trend that we've been seeing for the past few months, that more and more firms are anxious to cut costs. And so they look for ways to do that and return and give shareholders some return at the same time. And obviously today there's been a lot of return.
But could drugstore costs go up if you have, it seems to be consolidation and fewer chains.
Drugstore costs could go up, but I would say that this is also something of a competitive move on their part, because so much is moving out of the actual bricks and mortar store, just as has been the case with other types of retailers over the past few years, where you can get so much online these days that they're actually consolidating to cut costs.
What do you think, Steve?
Well, Elizabeth, listen, it seems like a smart acquisition. Rite Aid has been absolutely destroyed, by the way. Massive day today. Who knew drugstores, boring drugstores, could be so exciting? But with that massive rally, it just gets back to about where it was last fall. So clearly Walgreens saw in the tumult in this stock and Rite Aid some opportunity.
It's a real estate footprint, too,
yes.
for it, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. I like consumer staples as a sector. It's boring and defensive, which I like right now in the equity market. But I do think there's a larger point here, which I think Danielle touched on a little bit, and that is as government control increases, consumer choice decreases. And so what we're seeing in the healthcare space broadly, and this isn't just about selling gum, right? It's
You're saying health reform is causing consolidation across the board, even to drugstore chains?
Even down,
why?
Because the pharmacy is so important to the margins of these, right?
But why would Obamacare cause consolidation with drugstore chains?
Because they need to have pricing power.
Go ahead.
To have pricing power, they need to be gigantic. So that's why we.
You mean to negotiate with insurers?
We had an Aetna takeover on the insurance side that was bigger than this now on the drugstore side.
Look at the news. It's not even 24 hours old that premiums are set to go up. This is in addition to the fact that people's rents are going through the roof and that everyday necessities are costing average middle class families more and more and more. This is just one more thing.
How much time do you spend in the drugstore?
Oh, gosh, I've got an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and twin 7-year-olds. A lot.
A lot of time. Used to?
Thankfully, not much, but that's because my wife does. And so thank you, wife.
I spend 90% of my time in drugstores. No, I'm just making that up. Possibly more than half, easily.